Research, research, and research. One thing that's solidified throughout my whole POD journey is that in order to get sales on Etsy or with any POD business, all decisions has to be made out of research. So in today's video, I'll go over my whole research process, which consists of product research, design research, and listing research. If you're new here, my name is Andreas. I've done over $1 million in revenue in less than 3 years as an Etsy print-on-demand seller from Sweden. In that same time frame, I've also done about $240,000 in revenue on Amazon Merch on Demand as a side gig from Etsy. So the first thing is product research. So the thing that I focus mainly on in my journey is Etsy print on demand. The good thing about Printify these days is that they have Printify insights. What these insights are is that they can give us data on what products are actually performing well on their whole platform overall, which is really valuable. So these are basically stats from today as I'm filming this. Today when I'm filming this, it's November 24th, 2024. Since we're in Q4 and in the colder months, the best selling item overall is sweatshirts. But overall, you can also see that t-shirts is super popular. T-shirts generally is super popular all year long. It's one of the most best-selling products that they have. I've sold a ton of these Vela Canvas 3001 shirts. They're super good. We can also see that wrapping papers is super popular. But basically, this, and this. So sweatshirts, t-shirts, hoodies, they all consist of apparel. So apparel is super popular overall with print on demand, and it's a big chunk of the actual market. If we just check some statistics here, we can see that the print on demand market, a big chunk of it consists of just apparel, because this like purple-ish part of the pie chart is just apparel. So a big chunk of the actual market is just apparel when it comes to POD. So this is how I would actually approach any type of market research. Is just to look at the actual data. And the easiest way to look at data now in late 2024 and in 2025 is to just use Printify Insights. It gives us everything that we need to see. I think you need about 20 sales a month to see this, but within this video you have a fast track to just see what actually sells really well. And apparel is a huge chunk of that. This is how I would conduct my product research. The next step about this whole process is design research. And a great way to use design research is to do it this way. You go to Etsy, you search for instance, let's search for sweatshirt, since that's the top selling product right now on Printify overall. Since I live in Sweden, I gotta make sure that this says delivered to the US. Otherwise, the results are kind of skewed, since the US is my target market. So I do that, then I check physical items and the star seller badge. Then I go to the search bar, swap out star for best. This is so that we only see the best sellers for this given keyword when we search for this. Now, what we want to see here basically, we want to find like 5 to 10 shops that have these huge reviews. So you look at this little number right here. This one has 10K, which is really good. So 10K reviews. This one also has 11K reviews. Take this one too. So if we just take these, and they would go into the shop. Now I use Everbee for this. There's a link in the description if you want to use that. You also get like, if you sign up for a growth plan, you get the second month free if you use the link in the description. But basically I use Everbee for this. I click analyze shop, and then I go here and click export. What this does is that it gives the backend data so that we can actually get like projections of how well each of their listings in the shop are actually performing, which is really valuable. We do the same thing for the other shops that we found. Ideally, we'd want 5 to 10 shops that we want for this. But for the sake of the length of the video, I want to get 5 to 10 shops. I'll just use these 3. But yeah, we go here. Same thing. Analyze shop. And then export. What we now have gotten from Everbee is a CSV file of these shops with all their projected backend data of how these listings are performing, which is really valuable. What we then can do is that we can go to Google Sheets and you just go to file and then import and then upload, and then we can just upload each CSV file here. Then we can take all the data from each of these CSV files and put it in one and the same Google Sheet file. What that gives us is basically a fast track to know what to do in our stores. So I prepared a master list here with several shops, but ideally you want 5 to 10 shops, and the criteria is really important that you set. And the main criteria is that you want the sales that they have. So I would look at shops that have been successful in the last 2 to 3 years and that has the sales that you'd want in about 2 to 3 years. So it's really important that you are picky with the shops, just so that the data is itself correct. So make sure to be picky and that they are actually meeting the criteria that you set, which is so that they have the sales that you want within a time frame that you'd like. Apart from that, we can then press Command A and then Command A again. If you're on a Windows, I think it's Control A and then Control A again. You go to Data, and then here it should say Add Filter. Since I've already added a filter, it says Remove Filter, but basically you add a filter. Then you click Estimated Total Sales and then sort Z to A. What this does is that you can basically sort all of the listings from all of these shops and take from the best selling listing all the way to the worst selling listing, which is really, really powerful, because then we can just go from the first one here, check that one out, and then go to the next one and so forth. But the best thing about it is that we can find common denominators within all of these shops, within all of their best-selling listings, to see what actually makes a best-selling listing. So the first thing that we're going to do is design research, which we're on right now. What we first do is that we make a list that says the best-selling elements list. And I've picked out a couple from this list just to give us an example. But these are the ones that I found. What can we find as the common denominators here? Firstly, this one is personalized, which is really important. This one is not personalized. This one is personalized, personalized, and personalized. So personalization is a big element to have within your actual design. Apart from that, this one has a cursive font, cursive font, cursive font, cursive font too. Now, this one has a kind of a Disney vibe. Never ever do anything that's related to Disney. You never mess with the mouse because they are very Sue happy, so to speak. But we can still learn what type of elements are selling well. So it's cursive vibe, and this one also has a kind of a cursive vibe. So cursive is a really good element to have within your text-based designs. I mainly do text-based designs as that's the easiest way to do, and simple always sells the best. What else can we find here? Let's pick out a couple more from our little list here. So let's see here. I think we have another vibe here. So both this one and this one has a kind of a college vibe to it. So we just write up college font. Okay, so ideally you'd want to go through like maybe 50 of these listings to actually see which type of designs would work, so that you can see that, okay, like 30 of these listings has a cursive font, maybe like 20 of them has a college font, and just find common denominators within the listings like this, because this one has a college font, this one has a college font, this one does not have a college font, it has more of a block font underneath here, like this one too has kind of a block font too, but really, really fat one, a fat one. So we can just write up fat block font, because this one is not fat, but it's definitely like is a block font. But this one is a very fat block font, and a fat block font. So now we know which type of like fonts and design styles could work really well. What we then want to do is combine these in new ways to create something new to the niche itself. I think this is trademarked, so never do anything trademarked, as that can take down your whole store. So never do anything like that. And this, with the Etsy's new guidelines, I don't think you can. There are lots of gray areas with doing like custom text listings like this. So it would be very weird to go into a niche like this. Like what we can then do here, for instance, is have like Mrs. Smith in like a college font, and then a cursive font could be established 2022. That's how you would add value for this specific niche. Or for instance, if we take this one, Brewing Company sweatshirts, and same thing, filters, US, fiscal items, star seller, swap out star for best. How can we add value to this specific niche is what we always have to ask ourselves. I would basically use a college font. So instead of having like Brewing Company, I would have this in a college vibe and have this maybe in cursive instead. Using a college font and a cursive font together with the saying here, as long as it's not trademarked, is how I would add value to this specific niche here. So now we have done some design research. The next step, and a really important step to this too, is listing research. Now, there are a couple things to know here, because there are different variables to actually get sales on Etsy. A big thing here, what's like the delivery cost? How much does it cost in like shipping? This is in Swedish kronor since I live in Sweden, so I'm sorry for that if it's not resonating with your own currency where you live. But basically this is about $9. What's the lead times? This is a really important metric. Can we match this with Printify? Because a lot of people are actually printing stuff in-house and then shipping it out themselves to customers. But can we match this with Printify? It's a really important thing to ask ourselves. Do they have returns and exchanges on? Which we can see here. What here in the color section, what are they offering? How many colors are there? This shop offers 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 different colors. So this is an important metric too to see. They have lots of colors, over 10 colors. What sizes do they use? Do they offer? They offer like a youth sweatshirt and taller sweatshirts and in standard like unisex adult sweatshirts. And the question that we want to ask ourselves, now we know that what this store does any of the other stores do something similar or the exact same? If we go to this one, for instance, whoops, this should be United States. They have a smaller shipping cost, about like $8. They are also not accepting like returns and exchanges. These deliver it even faster than the other one. So even faster delivery compared to the other shop. These offer 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 colors basically. And they offer also youth sweatshirts, taller sweatshirts, and even hoodies. So offering like kids variations to these sweatshirts could be a really good thing to add it, since 2 of these shops are actually offering kids variations too. Also, both of these do not accept returns and exchanges. Now, I would personally recommend doing that. You can watch more about that in this video right here, I think. Same thing here. I'm gonna ship to Sweden. So this one also like offers in the same shipping time here, like 27th of November to the 2nd of December. Also no returns and exchanges. Same cost for shipping, about $8. These also offer it in 3, 6, yeah, exactly. Also a lot of colors. Also hoodies. So also like youth variations plus hoodies. Now, if we take this one, this is a t-shirt, but we can still learn a lot from this. So also 27 to the 2nd of December is definitely like popular. So all of these have really short lead times, especially this, like 3 of them have the 27th to the 2nd of December. So if we can match that with Printify, that would be really good. This one has no returns and exchanges. This one offers free shipping though, which is different. This one has a lot more colors and also offers like t-shirts, sweatshirts, youth variations. So basically we can see that the common denominator here within all these listings is that they offer youth variations. So yeah, like youth sweatshirts and youth options basically. They don't offer returns and exchanges. Now I would recommend to do that since that really ups the offer, but basically they don't do that, which is a common denominator to do. And most of these shops also offer it to deliver the item within the 27th to the 2nd of December. This one did a bit longer, but this is to the 2nd of December, 2nd of December, and 2nd of December, I think. Can we match this with Printify? And the last thing that I would want to check is if they use a loss leader. A loss leader is basically that you have one of these variations that you sell at a lower price, so that in search it will basically this lowest variations cost, and it will have a little plus sign after that, so that it says this cost and from that. What this basically does for us in search is that it increases click-through rate. So a loss leader is really good to have when you have lots of variations like this. These guys do absolutely have it. Youth sweatshirt here in size S in red is the loss leader. When someone searches for this and finds this in search, it will display this actual cost because this is the cheapest variations that they actually offer. And this increases a click-through rate for the listing itself. Is this one too using a loss leader? This one too is using a loss leader, same loss leader here. Is this one too using a loss leader? This one too is using a loss leader. The tallest sweatshirt is basically also a loss leader. So loss leaders is also a common denominator within this listing. The last thing that we want to ask ourselves when we've done this listing research is how can we make this even better? One thing would, for instance, be to offer returns and exchanges. Another thing that we can do for all of these listings, because now we know what they all have in common, is that none of these actual like listings offer a guarantee, it seems. Nope, no guarantee on any of these. And what a guarantee basically does is that it increases click-through rate, or if you're a very new seller, it basically mitigates a lot of the risk from the customer and puts it back on us sellers, because the guarantee can just say, if anything happens for any reason, or if you're unhappy within like 7 to 14 days of delivery, you can just contact us and get a replacement or a refund. If we add a guarantee and we have returns any changes, the other things that they do, so we use the loss leader. We have about 10 to 15 color variations. We include like kids sizes in our listings. Apart from that, to gain some rank, to compete with these, apart from adding value to the niche with a good new design, we can use break-even pricing too. We basically now know what all of these shops do in common, but to stand out, we can use break-even pricing to garner some rank initially. We can use a guarantee, which none of these shops actually used. To stand out in the marketplace, we can offer returns and exchanges, which they do not do, to also enhance the offer itself and be really competitive within the marketplace itself. So there are lots of things that we can do to improve, but that's the last thing that we gotta ask ourselves when we have actually done our listing research. But yeah, that's basically how I do all my listing research. But in the end, everything just goes back to the design, because if the design isn't there and it isn't something that they want, all this other optimization won't really work. So I would strongly recommend to watch this video right here so that you can get a good grasp on how to actually design, because it's the most important part of the equation. Anyhow, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.